Hi, everyone. Linda Israel here. Thank you so much for being here during my live stream. I greatly appreciate your support. I've pre-recorded this so that we can have some of the behind the scenes done while you listen to me for just a moment. I again want to thank you so very much for being here during my live stream. If you could, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends so that they can come join us. And if you will also give me a comment in the comment section after this video is done, and then definitely speak up in the chat and say hi. Lastly, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Now, if you're watching this as a replay, generally, if you're on a computer, you can go down below and look for the little gear. You can change that and make the speed faster. If you're on a mobile device, look up in the corner, up in this area for three little dots, and you can change the speed there as well. Those of you that are here live, do definitely speak up in the chat. I greatly appreciate you being here. Well, those that are here live earn a virtual currency. Junkie Joe should be coming up here in just a moment, and you'll be able to check how many bucks that you have. What are bucks? They're junk bucks. It's just a virtual point system that I have created on my account when we're live so that you can redeem those once you get to 2,000 for a $10 off coupon to my shop. So you can type exclamation point bucks to see how many that you have. And if you have 2,000 and you're ready for a coupon code, type exclamation point award, and my official note takers will take down that information. Now, if you haven't already created an account on my website at lindaisrael.com, please do so, and then send me a message through the contact form letting me know what your YouTube username is. Why? So I'll have your email address and I can email you your coupon code. Also, if you make a donation throughout this live stream, you can be added to my YouTube donators membership that I have on my website. So again, create an account, say, hey, Linda, I donated, and tell me what your username is on YouTube if it's different. That way I can get you added to that. At the end of this stream, I will have journals made, and you will have the opportunity to win one of those journals. Throughout the live stream, we'll have some various raffles, and we also have in-chat games. So be looking out for that in the chat, and I'll kind of speak it up when I get to it. For example, if you type exclamation point raffle, right now you can be in a chance to win 200 junk bucks. So you'll be well on your way to getting 2,000 junk bucks. Normally, Robin is my official note taker. Sometimes Angelica is my official note taker. It kind of depends on what's going on. These are members and administrators of my Facebook group, the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. If you haven't joined that group, we'd love to have you come and join us over there. What else? Let's keep the chat upbeat, friendly, and helpful. Hey, if you have a question, try to put it in all caps. That way I'll see it. If I don't see it, please don't be offended. The chat sometimes moves fast, and I'm usually looking down trying to create things. So please ask again. But if you know the answer that someone else's question, please go ahead and answer for them. I greatly appreciate that. Let's see, what else? Oh, if you have a YouTube channel, you can't post your link, but you can say, I have a YouTube channel, and tell us a little bit about it. Tell us your channel name, something like that. Tell us what you do. We're going to get started here in just a moment. I'm looking at the time. So roughly 5 minutes is when I'll get started. So it should be just a few more seconds. So definitely hang out in the chat, and we'll get started here in just a moment. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me and see me? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. So glad to have you here. And I see Julie and Connie and Robin and Margie and Lori. Thank you so much, y'all, for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Yay. So glad you're here. Okay, so, I got a lot of little things that I want to do. I've still have some things on my desk that were left over from the last journals that we've created over the past few weeks and months. In fact, here is a tray. It is a 9 by 13 baking sheet. And what I did was I kind of piled up what I had like items of, because I wanted to make 2 pages. In your case, you may only have 1, but putting them out flat like this so I could look at them kind of helps me when I'm picking for creating my journal. So I thought I'd show you that tip. Put all of your ephemera little pieces on something flat, especially like a cookie sheet that you can, put a few in, and you can stack those, okay? You could even label them if you want, so you know these are flowers, these are whatever. And then that way it's a little bit easier visually, in my opinion, to kind of look at it because they're like one layer. Otherwise, I have them in, Ziploc baggies and you're digging through the whole thing. But if I lay a few out, then I can look at that tray real fast and put it back. So I'm thinking about getting some more of those. My tip to you. Hey, Norella. Yes, that's a lot of Calico Collage. That is a lot. So I want to spray a couple things with Tattered Angels. So we're going to start there. I've got a stencil here, and I've got some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. And I have a scrap. This was a leftover piece from doing using graph paper from a composition notebook, and I trimmed down the pages, and this was one of the trim off pieces, and I saved it. I have a whole stack of them over here. Here's some more. So I thought I need to use them, but I want to add a little more color to that. I wanted a pop of color for the page that I'm making. So I'm taking scraps of paper like this, using stencils and stamps and Tattered Angels, more of the digital ephemera, book pages, some gel prints, some random papers, scrapbook papers, music papers, to kind of build journal pages, okay? I'm doing good, Diana. Thank you. So glad to have you here from Australia. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, that was a lot of fuzzy cutting. Exactly. Well, see, that's why I was thinking if I did flat, I have back here behind me these little cubby holes, and because the baking sheets fit and they stack one on top of the other, I'd be able to kind of stack a few. So I may go get some more pans and give this a try. See if it's something I like. It may work, it may not, It's not going to cost me but a couple of dollars. All right, so I put my little strip on this side, and I want to spray it to be a little bit pink. So I've got here some Tattered Angels. And while I'm at it, I'm going to put another piece of paper down on this side. I didn't do it in my example, but we're going to do it now. So I'm just laying it in my spray box. I'm positioning it so that my paper that I'm going to spray on, I could use some other time. Okay, so you don't have to do that. You can just kind of randomly do the spraying and use the box only for this portion, not doing a whole page like I'm doing, but I wanted to do a whole page. And I'm going to mop up what's on top of that stencil so you don't waste it. You're using it. And I'm just going to put that on top. Press it into place. Oh, I did do my nails. Did you see? I got my nails all did. And then I broke one yesterday, and it hurt really, really bad. It was awful. I thought, oh no, I'm going to die. Oh, why are you leaking? But it was okay. It just really sore. I hit it. All right. Put the Tattered Angels up there. I'm going to heat this real quick just to kind of knock off some of the wet. This is what it looks like on the mop-up side. And I kind of like that it's distressed, that it's not all there. I'm going to set this aside for now so it'll dry. We're going to use it here in a few minutes. And then I'll pull out the stencil. This is one of the Victorian stencils. Don't ask me which one, and I won't tell you no lies. It's a Victorian one. I'm just getting a couple pieces of paper. so I don't get transfer of Tattered Angels. And then here's my pieces in the box. So see how bright and vibrant those are? But look at how the page underneath now has these voids, and we could use that as a background paper for a journal page. Hey Vicky, so glad to have you here. All right, so I'm gonna set these aside. Hey Giovanna, hello, hello, hello. Isn't that nice color? That was Party Pink. Hey Margie, thank you for your donation. So I like that. I'll set it aside. I'll use it some other day. I mean, I'm not using it today, but I'll set it aside, and then I've got this piece that I can use in a journal. All right, get rid of my box for a moment. Let's see here. I need, yes, where are they? Since I have my sprays out, I've got these two journal cards here. So we're going to do the same concept again. I'm going to lay out this one, and I've got this one. I think this is a 4x4 card, and that's a 4x6 card. And then I have the polka dot, small polka dot stencil. Hey Kathy, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you here. Polka dot stencil. And this time I decided to mix some colors. So I have, this is from, which is sold out. I think I have one kit left. I've put it back because there's a customer that their order failed because their credit card got compromised. And so she hasn't gotten back to me, but technically I'm sold out of it, but that's Enchanted Rose. And this is from the Positive Vibes kit. So if you have those kits, those would be good. You could use, oh, let's see, the vintage pink that I offer in my shop. The wedding pink that I offer in my shop is close. It's not the same, but it's close. All right, so I'm spraying that. I'm going to get another mop-up paper because I didn't do that. Yeah, here. Making sure on my samples. And my paper that I'm mopping up with, I've kind of talked about it before. I have like 5 reams of this paper. I picked it up for like $2 a ream several years ago. I'm talking, I think 15 years ago, because I think that's about the last time that I was really making a lot of greeting cards. And I've just decided I'm going to use it, so I'm altering it. You love the vintage pink spray? It's a pretty color, Kathy. I agree. Hey, Gabby. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How do you spray without getting titter? I just don't that much. I get a little bit on my fingertips when I touch the box. But I think the key is I put hand lotion on my hands. I use a really heavy coconut butter version of a hand lotion. So it really moisturizes my hands, and it's easier to clean off. And I've got years and years of practice. So here's a mop-up page. I've got years and years and years and years of practice. There's a, I forgot her name, Sally, I think is her first name, and she is the main head honcho over marketing and teaching how to use a gel plate. And she proved that you can gel press, and not get any paint on you. She wore white and did a demo. Oh, that was you like the mop-up page or the spray-through page? And did a demo and did not get any paint on her. Like crazy. All right, so I'm just going to set these aside. I've got these two that I'll set here aside. I'm starting with a... hey, Giovanna, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm starting with, hey, Janice, a 8.5 by 11-inch book page. And it's even tore, but that's not going to matter. I'm just using... Hey, Lori, is he not seeing you? I see you. You did the boss fight. Huh. He's just being cranky, I guess. You can start the next fight. Start the FFA. See if that gets you. In fact, do the raffle now so I can make sure you're in the raffle. Okay. Wash your hands in Dawn dish soap. Okay. So here's what I've got. I have this little piece of paper that I thought I would put down the side, but I may change this because I have a corner pocket that I want to use, and it's going to go on this side. All right, so I've got a corner pocket. This is from the Wildflowers ephemera. Dane's naked. Oh my goodness. All right, Lori, I see you. All right, you're in the giveaway. You're in the giveaway. All right, so this is going to go over here. So here's what I started doing. I was playing around with scraps of paper, trying to figure out what I could do with all the scraps. I kind of have a pile of blank cards because of the subscription boxes. I got a whole bunch of those a while back, and now I'm down to like the odds and ends in my studio, so I'm trying to use those up. So I kind of play around with how this is looking, and I'll do things like I took one of Norella's spring flowers, I believe that's called, and printed it as the whole sheet of 8.5 by 11. I printed as a 5 by 7. And then I cut the two pages, the two halves apart. I backed it onto a piece of cardstock, and I've made little tabs so that it's a pocket. I did stitch around it, and I thought that might look kind of pretty right there. And then I've got a piece of sheet music that I sewed to a piece of cardstock, and I've put two tabs because I want to make this a pocket that slides in, and I think I have it backwards, don't I? No, this is right. Yeah, so this is going to go here. That's going to go there. And then I was like, okay, well, what else can I use? And I just realized I'm missing, oh, there it is. I had some of Norella's digital kit. This is from the Flittering Gems pattern papers, and I thought that's kind of pretty. So what if I put that where it kind of comes from here across a little bit? I may move it just a bit. Each page is a little different, so I kind of have to play with it. I have another piece of that paper, so what I may do is swap it out, because I remembered I just had this cut a few minutes ago. There, that kind of helps fill in my space, and this is going to go right here. All right, so I've got this area up here. Well, we did stencil that, so I think that's going to go there. And then I had this little scrap of paper that was left over from cutting one of, I think this one is the spring pattern papers. I'm not sure if I remember right. All right, so you see how I filled it all in, okay? It didn't matter what the foundation paper was. I was just using something. So that would be a great place to use your ugly junk mail that you want to cover up. You just need something to help paste other things too. Well, then just do what I'm doing, a collage over the top of it. So now that I've kind of done that, this is standing out to me. We've got the pattern on there, so that'll fill this space in. But I think it needs a little bit more around the edges. So I'm going to slide this over. And let's do some stamping. We're going to stamp it out, man. Oh, let me look to see. Okay, yes. Flittering Gems. Hey, Teresa, welcome. So I have the leafy border. And I will go let's see, this is going to go on that side. So I want to go across the top and down this side. So that just kind of gives a little bit of a pattern. Oh, wait, I'm not done yet. I've got these papers. I'm going to look to make sure. Yeah, I did all the way around. So I'm going to stamp all the way around since I've already got it out here. And then that way they'll be ready for the next step. So how is everybody? Y'all doing okay? This gives me a moment to just take a break. Telling you stories. I've been busy. We have been working on our garden. Gone out and we did some digging around and got rid of some grass in an area that had overgrown a bed. So that was kind of busy. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start pretty much on this side here, and I'm going to put down my yellow piece up in this corner. I'm missing something. I'll have to find one. All right, so we'll put that there. This piece is going to go here, and this piece is going to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down this piece. I kind of like to layer it all out. Now, this is also something that you already have a journal put together, and you want to figure out how you can decorate your pages. Well, you can paste it, just like I'm doing. Just think these are going to be half sheet pages instead of the full 8.5 by 11. So you would just work on this portion if you want, or you could paste it across onto another page. So don't think you're limited. All right, so I think I will go ahead. It may be wasting the paper to go ahead and paste the whole thing. I could cut it and then I'll have another scrap. But I think I'll just go ahead and glue this down. So I'm going to butt it up against here and then go this way. So that'll give me nice little coverage back there. I have not tried using rubber cement. What are you trying to glue, and why do you want to use rubber cement? Because there are other glues that might actually be better. Rubber cement is really not the best art glue. It's more of a craft glue, in my opinion. Because I use Aleene's Tacky Glue. Bye, Teresa, or bye, somebody. Bye, Vicky. Oh, bye, Vicky. See you. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping in. Okay, so that's going to go there. All right, so now I'll go ahead. I folded this, but I'm going to go ahead and fold it again. That way I'll have my true center here. And sometimes, you know, I'll just take my distressing tool, just kind of go down that center line, and it kind of gives me a faint line to work off of. So now I want to put this, I think I'll go all the way, now right almost to the top, and then leave a little bit of the border so you see the book page behind. So we'll glue this down. Just saw it, remembered. Yes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so, you know, it's not a glue that I would say, yeah, oh, jump on that. Go buy a gallon of it. No, it's a specialty glue. It's more to me like an old Mod Podge, the old school getting things, but it stinks. Oh, it's stringy. I don't like it. Just don't like it. All right, so now the corner pocket. Now look how that's filled that in. How we had this all covered up. And so we get that little neat collage look. Thank you, Robin, for all you do for me. You are a blessing. I hope you are well today. I haven't talked to you in a couple of days. I think we need to go on Friday to a couple of places I was reading about. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and push this out to the edge. I did put glue all the way down, so I will have to pick this up and smooth out the glue that was in the hole. All right, so see how that's coming together? We've got this side pretty much kind of started, decorated. And then over here, I've got this little pocket piece. That's a pocket piece. That's going to go right here. So I'm just putting glue. I take tabs of paper. I use a Bible. It's a family style, family size one. And I'll cut 1-inch strips, but you could do it with a dictionary or your junk mail. And then I paste them and fold them, and that allows me to have the full use of that pocket. And then I've got this guy. It's going to go down here in the corner. You like that? Is that kind of collage-y cool? Something a little different. I'll move these out of the way for a moment. And then I'm missing a bug. Okay, well, we'll just make one, because I want, or I'll find a different thing. I can't see. This is improvising. I like the butterfly, though. I want the butterfly. Wait, when did I do this one? Because I had a butterfly up there. I've got a smaller butterfly here, so let's do that. So I've got this little butterfly, and I saw some cardstock here a moment ago. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Found it. Here's what's funny is I have misplaced my Ziploc baggie full of butterfly ephemera. So I'm having to make some. All right, we'll do that. So I've got this guy, and I want it to be a blue. I think that might be close. I'm going to grab a paintbrush. Oh, my paintbrushes are dried up. Darn it. I'll have to rehydrate them. Get me a different paintbrush. It's live. Linda's having a craft on the fly. All right, so I'm grabbing a paintbrush. Come on. I'm going to take the lid off. You could spray it into a vessel. I'm just going to take the lid off. And then just going to come in here and kind of loosely paint that. Okay. So that was the Positive Vibes blue. And I'll just take my scissors and fussy cut it really fast. And that's what I'll use, because I was like, I want a different butterfly. So this is from the Butterfly Beauties Cube. And the larger butterfly is from the White Glider. It's a single butterfly. It's actually a moth, but I put it as a butterfly. So I just fussy cut that real fast. And I've got my little distress tool. You know, use whatever you want for distressing. I use some products that I already had in my stash because I've been crafting for years and years and years. And it just makes better sense to me to buy a distressing ink than to go try to figure out how to make something. So if you're into making something, then please definitely go ahead and do that. But I don't, because I can buy it already done and it's less headache for me. You're hungry? Well, Julie, eat something, lady. And then what do I've got here? Be like the wildflowers. I thought that would be kind of pretty to put right there. This is from the Wildflowers kit. I like that. Okay. And then over here, we've got, yeah, a little number. I think this is from like the Shabby Ephemera. I think it may be called Shabby Flowers Ephemera. Kind of like that. All right, so we've got this little butterfly. And I'm missing the sentiment that was going to go in it. So let's look at my handy tray. Here we go. Grow wild and free. Oh, and this is the one I wanted. All right, so we're going to glue that down here in the corner. And I'll just glue down this. It's a white glider that I had painted with Tattered Angels. And then I fussy cut them out. And I laid them on my scanner. And I scanned them in. And then I can fussy cut them out and not have to recolor them every time. Ah, thank you, 8-cent stamp. You like that? Okay, so then I've got for the journal card, we're going to put this tall one in here. And this one's going to go on there. Somewhere here. Yep, I got a piece of fabric. So what I'm going to do on this is going to go in this pocket. So it's going to go right on here. So we're going to go to the sewing machine. So prepping you, sewing lamb. We're going to go to the sewing machine and I'll stitch that down. So I'm just going to lay it over here for a second. And then I have, okay, this card that I want to make. So I'm going to make this real fast. And then we're going to go to the sewing machine. So I have to grab a rubber stamp. This is the flowering branch. Flowering branch. And I'm using it with acrylic blocks. And I want to stamp kind of around this side. I'm just kind of putting a little touch on there. Little touch. And then I have a digital image from Norella. I think it goes this way. I think I'll put it right there. I'm just adding glue to the back. Set it right there. All right, so we're going to go over to the sewing machine. And we're going to sew on that other card. See how that just sticks right down in there? All right, here we go. All right, can you see in there? Let me turn this. Okay, so I've got this little scrap of fabric, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of crinkle it up a little bit. Now you can see all the stuff on my fingernails. And I'm going to slide it over here to the edge, hold it, and I've got a zigzag stitch. I have regular thread, regular needle. I'm on an electronic machine, so the stitch length is 2 and the width is 2. And all I'm going to do is just zigzag over this little piece of fabric. I just kind of wrinkled it up a little bit so you kind of get a little bit of a ruffle. All right, that was fast, right? So that's going to go up here, but before I put it there, I have one of these little paper flowers. I just thought it'd be kind of sweet sticking it on there. So we're getting this eclectic feel of, I'm not just using the printed kit, and we're not going completely matchy-matchy, but I think it all goes together because of the colors we're using. All right, so that goes up there, that one over there. So right here, I've got, I think this is from the Not the One Fine Day. It's Charming Forest. That's from Charming Forest. I had to think about it. I just want to put that there, just for some contrast in there. Okay. You know what I didn't do is I was going to stamp a flower on here, and it's laying here somewhere. There it is. I got it covered up. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to stamp it so it's kind of behind this pocket. This is when you have a oopsie. And this is from the Bloom Cube. So I'm going to mask where my pocket is, and then I'll stamp where this is kind of coming out. See there? So now it looks like it's coming out of the pocket. You see? And it's not on the pocket because I forgot to do it. It was a teaching moment. Thank you, Lori, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we're going to flip it over and we're going to work on this side. All right, we got a lot to go on this side. So I've got a scrap of paper. I've got some pocket pieces that I thought we would use. And I should have done it beforehand. I don't know why I didn't. I'm going to cut these they were 6 inches, and I'm going to cut them to be 5 1/4 inches long. And that's going to create this little piece. So we're going to save that. And this is going to be my pockets. So this is going to be a pocket down here and here. So then I've got this piece. I've got some sheet music. Thought that might go on here. What else do I have? Oh, this is going to go this way. I don't know why I put that way. That's what's wrong, Linda. You got it all messed up, man. And then this is going to go here. Do you see what I did? And this is a puzzle. And then this piece is going to go here. And this piece is going to go there. And we already stamped this. So see how we ended up making that? Oh, you missed it. Well, sorry you missed it, Lori. I'm going to drink a coffee. All right, so this page should come together relatively quickly. So what I'm going to do first is I'll go ahead and glue down these outside strips. I don't think I put distress ink on them, so I'll just kind of hit it really fast. And I'm not putting a lot on there. If you want it darker, spend some time. Be careful, because some pieces of old paper are very brittle. And that's why I like being able to use pieces of them and glue them down to another part of the page. And see, you don't have very much sheet music. Well, this is just a 1-inch strip that I'm gluing down. Poke, poke, nudge, nudge. All right, y'all get in on the raffle. Get in on the raffle. Who's been working on journals? What have you been making? You can tell me in between. Now he's skipping you, Robin. Oh, dear. Hey, Mala. Welcome. So glad to have you here. Oh, my goodness. All right, so that's going to go there. I found that if I just go ahead and fold this in half lengthwise, and this is already folded, so I'll just kind of line it up. That way I'm kind of getting equal on each side. So usually I'll do one side, so I'll kind of fold it up. Match it into. And I've misplaced my bone folder. I only have 2 of them. Can't find either one. I've been threatening to buy more. I think I used to have 3. And I think I gave one to a friend because they did not have one. Cut apart a wedding dress that I got last summer at a yard sale. Ooh, it took 5 hours, but you have tons of lace, applique, setting, netting, and all for $15. Awesome, Lori. That's awesome. I have a dress that I picked up at a thrift store years ago, and I haven't done anything with it yet. It was still in good shape, so I haven't really done anything. I did let someone wear it because they were playing a pregnant bride for Halloween, and she was very pregnant at the time. All right, so this is going to go up here. So I'll just put these pieces in the middle to fill that gap. So here's another place where I used the scraps of paper that I had. And I've got digital image here. You could use scrapbook paper. You could use wallpaper. Maybe it was gift wrap, tissue wrap. You took a napkin and glued it to another piece of paper, and you ended up with a strip like that. So just because I'm showing you this pattern paper, think how you could make this your own. What do you have that you could put in this little layout? All right, we ready for the raffle? What? You have a consignment order, 10, 10, 10, and 10 every 3 weeks. They want 10. The first 10 they had sold the first day. Wow, Teresa, that's awesome. That's amazing. You must not be charging enough. All right. All right, we're getting ready to do the raffle. I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. Normally I put tabs on them, but I didn't this time. So now you'll get to see the difference. It doesn't really look that different. Let's make sure I'm not too far over. And I know it's an alligator print fabric, but I'm trying to use what I have. Yeah, that was your thought, Teresa. Yeah, you're not selling them for enough. You're not getting enough money for them. All right, let's pick the winner of the giveaway. And the winner of 200 junk bucks is Kimberly Smith. Congratulations, Kimberly. All right, so I thought this was kind of cute, so we're going to do it. And this is ice cream and donuts. So Robin has given me a bunch of things, and so I'm trying to help her de-stash as well as give y'all some, yeah, they're kind of silly fun prizes, but this is some donut stickers. They're glitter on them. And then this is some clear scraps shaker cards. And I think there's like 4 or 5, but you can put or maybe there's just one. I don't know for sure if it's supposed to be one or multiple, because it's got multiple layers here, so you can make yours 3D and have lots of stuff in it. So that's our first physical prize today. All right, so I forgot to stencil on here, which is funny because I think I did this the last time. I want to have some stenciling. This is my broken small circles, I think it is, and I've got Distress Oxide and Dusty Concord. I want to come in here, and then I'm just looking through the stencil because it's somewhat transparent. I'm only putting the ink on this little piece of paper. I'm trying not to go beyond the edge here. So see how that looks now with that pattern in there? I think it gives it a little bit more. I'm going to do the same over here. Oh, thank you, Janice, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Janice has a big collection of my journals. Janice, do you keep them, or have you been taking them apart and using them or sharing them with others? I'd love to know, because she's had a few. All right. What do you think? So it just kind of adds a little more to that. All right, then, but yet, we're not done yet. All right, now. It's like I'm missing a whole thing. That is weird. All right, let's look over here on my handy dandy tray. Oh, maybe this one. Okay, so I've got a couple of these Calico Collage images. Kind of go up in the corner here, maybe. You don't see much of the music on that side, but it's there. And then these are from the wildflowers, so I thought that might look good in there. And I have this Ziploc baggie full of fussy cut flowers. These I went in and digitally colored on my computer because they weren't quite pink enough. They were a lot paler than that when they would print. So I went in and just kind of used a brush option on my computer and colored them in. So I made my own little version without having to get wet ink out or paint or markers or whatever. These are from one of the shabby postage or the roses faux postage. Try doing a fancy cross. You think you'll do flowers? Oh, watercoloring on hymnal pages. Well, you know, did you pre-treat your page with clear gesso? Because you'll find if you do that, you'll actually have better results with watercoloring, with painting, with using markers. It also will keep your mediums from soaking through to the other side. All right, so I think that's going to go right there. Go right there. All right, so then I've got these that I want to go down here. So let's glue those down. And I'm putting a generous amount because this textured paper is just that, it's textured. So it may not stick real well. My card's falling out because I've been shaking the whole thing around so much. Sometimes I'll lay a block on it. That's the beach rose. Okay, Lori, good. Yeah, the gesso, you might like the results better if you do the clear gesso. It's expensive, but you don't need a whole lot on the page. And once you put it down and it dries, it really helps with your page. You like all the layers and textures? Oh, good. I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. All right, so I want to put something right here, and I happen to have a little piece of paper that was left over. So I thought, well, here, I'll just show you what I do. So I'm looking at that. I folded it over because that's about the size I want it. I'm going to use my scissors to cut it because I'm going to use two, for one on each side. I'll just cut it where the fold is. I can also tear it. So I've got that so far. I think I want to round the corners of it to kind of give it another look. And I'm going to use a big round. So this is the 1/2 inch round corner. I just think it gives it a whole different look. All right. So we're getting that, but that's kind of plain. We need more. Practice, yeah, practice on the scrap for, you know, Bible journaling and whatnot. I know a lot of people that bought a Bible at a thrift store and use it for their practice, and then they put it in to their actual journal that they want to use. Okay, I think I like that. So this is the it's a small branch, small flower branch. I can't remember. I'm just going to come down the side here, and then I think I'm going to come around this corner, kind of coming up. I think that would look good. So we're going to do the same thing over here, but opposite. I'm going to come down this side and that side. All right. I think these are in place now. So I need to add some Distress ink, and then we'll glue those down. Now, isn't that kind of cute to add just a little touch of a writing space? This was some scrap of coffee dyed paper. Okay. Beeline Designs, I don't think they do. This is some of the things that I am looking into having as rubber stamps. I've got a couple designs ready, and I've got to finish doing the layout for the packaging, and I need to upload into my shop so y'all can start buying. But we're going to have I'm going to have a new dragonfly because Beeline didn't have any big dragonflies. You like the delicate nature? Isn't it pretty? It's just a pretty little touch. And there's some other bloom cubes, flower cubes that have small prints like that. All right, and then I have this one is a ladies that I made a couple weeks back. And I've got a mason jar from one of the kits. Oh, thank you, Margarita. Thank you. And then this, I think this, I'm cheating on Norella. She's probably already gone. This was from Graphics Berry. I happened to find it in my folder of digital media everything or otherwise or something, because everything Calico Collage has their own folder. They have folders for ephemera, and I have folders for junk journals. So this was in my random folder, and I thought, well, that's kind of neat. And then here's another one of these ladies. All right, so we have created 2 different looks. So this is a little bit more pink and flowery, and then this has got the darker purple on it. Okay, you loving it? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, remember, if you don't have enough to do a 2-page layout, do the one side. It's still gorgeous, right? All right, so let's set this aside. Here's the other one I made. Here's my sample that I made, but it's going the opposite direction, and I just use different images. Okay. All right, so we made a mop-up paper that I set over here. So it should be dry now. And I'll fold this in half. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, you bought some peg stands. You wanted tiny flowers and leaves? Yeah. I have a set. Oh, I can't remember the name of them. Oh, rubber stamp tapestry. This is my rubber stamp tapestry. So I have all of these, and I don't use them because I don't sell them. But I have all these little flowers that make a border, that make like a wreath type things. I've got a bunch of them in here. So that one's got little hearts that you can turn into wreaths. And this is all the ink pads that go with this kind of technique. But I hardly use it anymore. I have lots of colors. I got a really good deal on that. Yeah, there's a good brand. Oh, I better turn that around. It was a square box that went into the hole, and when I put it in, it rotated, and so the didn't have the label sticking out anymore. All right, so for this one, I think what I want to do first is open up this inside, and I'm grabbing a scrap of paper, and I've got this leafy border again, and I'm just going to go all the way around. So I'll go across the top, and then we'll go down the sides. Ah, drop the stamp, Linda. I'm going to go like this. I'm alternating where they intersect, so because this isn't quite long enough, that way it's not super noticeable where it repeats. So that's why I didn't go up this side yet. Hey, thank you, Kathy, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'll go this way. And then we'll go down from the top. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then across here. And then I'll go ahead and I'm going to do the corner. I got the stamp out. Why not? And we'll come down the edge here. And I'll do the same across here. Okay. Now here's when you want to take the time, if you want, before you put it in your journal, to add some distress ink around the edges. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you have tons of old wooden block stamps that you need to deal with. Yeah, you know, I like having my wood stamps still mounted, because having unmounted stamps, I don't have enough blocks. Because I don't get out just one stamp and use it, I have right now on my desk about 20 stamps. Some of them don't have blocks on them because I don't have enough blocks to keep those usable. And I may not use them all the time, but I do like using them. I like having them there to be able to use them. So I like mine mounted. Some people don't. And I still have all of my mounted stamps too. Okay. We stamped all the way around. I stamped all the way around in here. I'm looking at my sample over here on the corner. And I have a little bitty birdie. And I have a butterfly. And then I've already stamped these ahead of time, but there are many ways to build a nest. It says only good girls keep diaries, bad girls don't have time. And that's Bankhead. So if you're looking for that in my shop, look for Bankhead. And then I think this is, I don't know if this is part of a cube, but I think if you put nest in, you might get that stamp. All right, so I'm going to put this right here. And I'm going to put this one over here. So I like this type of technique with thin layers, so I'm not adding a lot of bulk. So I've got this little butterfly. This is from the Wildflowers kit. Yeah, it does take up lots of space. It does. I agree. You know, and I have probably 6,000 stamps. and I have not gotten rid of them yet because I'm attached to them. When I see them, it makes me really happy. And so my dream would be to have a place where I could put them all out on display so that when I walked into that space, I may have to move a shelf or something, a special movable wall is what I've been thinking about, or I have to make little U's where it comes out from the wall. But if I could walk in and say, oh, I want to use that stamp today, and I see it, it's right there, I can get it. So I don't know, I'm being a dreamer. We got to have our dreams, right? All right, so I went ahead and stamped the corners here. So this is where I was playing around, and I decided not to do it live because it was taking me so long to do some of the pages. I thought I pretty much felt that I could explain this to you. I had a book page that was square, and I had a scrap of music here, and I had a scrap of this blue paper. So I glued down the blue paper, glued down the scrap of music. I used one of Norella's Faux Postage the Roses set, I believe. And this is her printable words. But what I do is I take and I crop them and put the two 8.5 by 11 sheets on one piece of paper, kind of shrink them a little bit. And then I told my computer when I went to print that one sheet of paper that had both pages, I told it to print a 5 by 7, and it shrinks it down to this size. And if I do it as the single page as a 5 by 7 without putting them together, I get this size. And then the original side is like almost 4 inches. That's just on a piece of fabric. So I'm just going to glue that down here in the corner, and it gives us a nice little collage. Yeah, I have more stamps in Hobby Lobby. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you so much, 8-cent stamp, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, small space won't allow me to set up the way you want or need. And I get that, you know. I told Henry, I said, I don't ever want to move. If we move, I want to move into the dream home or location that we want, because realistically, I need to get rid of some stuff. I know I'm getting to that age that I need to start getting rid of things I know I'm not going to use. I've just been so busy with the business that I haven't really sat down to do that. But I could stay here forever, you know. But my dream would be able to go someplace and be able to walk in and see all my rubber stamps. Oh, thank you, Heather. You're very, thank you, thank you, thank you. You need to learn to talk to your computer like I do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're part, you think you're here with your tribe. You are, Lori, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and those cases, there's lots of cases that people like with the Stampin' Up! Cases, the little, I have some of those too. I have every brand of stamp, I think. So on this one, I used a book page that I stamped the leafy vine on the outside, and I sprayed it with a couple colors of Tattered Angels, and I used some of the wildflowers elements, the fussy cuts, her ephemera, and we're just going to glue it in this opposite corner over here. Okay. Kind of building up a little bit of a design. All right, we're going to go to the sewing machine again here in just a moment. So sewing lab. This little beautiful will go right here. Kind of, I think it'll kind of hang off right there. And what I'll do is I'll take a strip of fabric and glue the word down and trim it. And then I take a strip of paper and put it on the back side of the fabric. That way, when I go to the sewing machine, it will feed through the machine. Because if you're doing little scraps of fabric, sometimes it's hard to get under that foot and keep it going. So put a scrap of paper on the back side, and that will kind of give you a little more tooth when you go through your sewing machine. All right, so that goes there. All right, this is going to go here. And then I've got this card and some ephemera. So what I'm going to do is get out a piece of scrap paper. And I have the 1912 rubber stamp from Beeline Designs. Back to rubber stamps and making them. So I am looking at making crosses, dragonflies. There'll be some word phrases. So if there's something you're looking for, definitely head over to the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. And I've got a poll going that you can, put a comment at the bottom, or you can add it as a suggestion of a rubber stamp. So I just put that 1912. I just love the way that looks in that background. You know you wanna. And then I've got a piece of book paper, and then Norella has these postcards. So they print bigger, and again, I told my computer to print a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper is like a 5 by 7, and so it shrinks it down, and we'll just layer these together. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. And then I don't always like to have stitches all the way on the back side. So I'm going to stitch around this and then come back and we'll paste it onto our page, our journal card. Raffle? Yeah, see, and the kids don't want it. The mason jar, look for Calico Collage, and I think it's floral. I think she has a category just for mason jars. I think she has a category for mason jars. All right, so I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch over here on my sewing machine. I'm going to go right around the edge. See that? So this is where, if you don't have the Calico Collage images, you could use your magazine images. You could use a greeting card. You could use scrapbook paper. You could take a rubber stamp and stamp these tulips and hand color them. So just because I'm showing you a digital image, think about what you already have or could get your hands on to create your own. So this is going to go right here, and I'm just going to glue it in place. Okay, what else? Yes, kids are simplifying. They don't want the clutter. See, and I have things that belong to my mother, and they do have sentimental value to me. And it makes me sad. Oh, thank you, Julie. You're very sweet, because it was being a pain in the rear today, so... I have several things. I have a bronze statue that is at least 200 years old that belonged to great-grandparents. It's been passed down. And I love looking at her, she's kind of pretty. And she's interesting looking. And she may not have a gorgeous face, but she's interesting looking. And so I'll look at her and I think about my mom and my grandparents and, my daughter doesn't know anything about them, so she'd be like, what is that? I'll have to ask her if she wants it when I die. You keep collecting all the things that all of you are getting rid of, Teresa. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so that's going to go here. That's going to go there. So we've done this side and we've done this side. We just kept it somewhat simple. So here is another one that I made, just different pieces that I had left over. Okay. Did you find mason jars, digitals? Okay, good. Did mason jars search and you'll find them? Good job, Robin. Good job. Okay, so now I got to get all these goodies out. We're going to sew the journal cover today. We're going to use fabric. Woo! Alrighty. This is going to be a busy page. Y'all going to be going, what in the world are you doing, Linda? A lot. I'm doing a lot. Okay. So we're going to start with this. So I've got 2 pieces of paper. And what I'm doing is I'm going to build a flip out for my journal. So I cut a couple pieces of paper that were just slightly larger than a cut down 8.5 by 11, printed as an 8 by 10 photo, trimmed, and then I just matted it with this piece of text weight paper. It's not super thick, and those 2 are going to go together. But before I do that, I want something on the other side. So I'm going to lay these into my spray box. And I'll kind of center them. You'll get a little bit of a border, not much. And then this is from the April Stencil Club, and I just put that over here. I saw it. So this is the April Stencil Club. This is one of those stencils. And then here's the half sheet stencil that's got the squares and the circles. I thought that'd be a fun one to play with. And then there's some more flowers. That's in the shop now. All right, so I'm going to use Artsy Patina, which is from the So Artsy subscription box. I believe I still have this left over. It's a kind of a teal, but it's not super dark. I like it because it's got that iridescent feel to it, much like, it's kind of like Curious. It's not as dark, though. All right, so I'm just going to mop this up with my paper, and I spray the backside. I forgot I didn't really press that, but that's kind of interesting looking. Giving it that, using the bottom of the bottle is kind of making a little swirlies. Easily entertained. You love flip outs? Well, good. Yes, a fabric cover. Okay. And then look at the mop-up paper. Isn't that pretty? So I'll set this over here out of the way. I'm going to dry this a little bit. Uh-oh. Broken things are no fun. Isn't that pretty? And then can you kind of see the pattern on here? It's subtle. And the colors just don't do it justice on the... I gotta get my camera adjusted again. I'm going to beg Jason to come over. All right, so I went ahead and did all that. So I'm going to flip these over. I've already put Distress ink around the edges. And now what I want to do is glue these onto the pages. I don't glue them on and then spray them with Tattered Angels, just in case an accident happens, I don't want to end up spilling a whole bunch of Tattered Angels over a printed image, because mine is an inkjet printer and they will run. So I'll wait until I've let it dry. I'm using my block as if it was a bone folder. Multi-purpose tools! Oh, you got a new, your cheap blender died, so you got a new one? Henry has a really expensive blender. I believe it's called a Blend Tech. If you go to YouTube and type in "Will It Blend," that's the blender we have. And this is our second one. The first one lasted about 12, maybe 15 years. Maybe it wasn't that long, but it seemed like it was that long. And so he finally said, this one is, the motor is about to die, and we bought it refurbished. So we can get it cheaper that way. So we had to buy a new one. And he was like, I'm glad I got it. I use it. All right. So I've got that. So I'm going to flip this over. This is going to be glued into my page. So what I've got is a couple of pieces of book page. Now what I could have done was left a little bit of the edge of this pink, but my pages really wasn't that much that I cut off. It was like not even 1/4 of an inch. And in my opinion, it wasn't enough to create the fold. I probably could have done it and reinforced it with a book page like I'm doing anyway, but anyhow, I thought it would be kind of cute to do it with the book page. So I'm just making sure it's straight on there. Kind of sliding it. And I make mine, the strip, the same size as the smallest piece that I'm going to glue to my journal. This is smaller than 8.5 inches tall. I'm going to glue it to a piece of paper that's 8.5 inches tall. Okay. All right. So we got that part. And I think what I want to do now is we need to stamp in the corners. I've got the Beach Rose stamp. Yeah, not the ink from the printer bleeding, not from rubber stamps. But if I were to get this image wet, it will run because it's with an inkjet printer. If you take the time to heat set your pages and then seal them, you can do that, but I don't. Okay, so I've got these two pieces. I'm going to go ahead and fold the tabs in. So it just kind of comes up with that natural space that it needs to be. All right, and then I have a book page. It's rather thin. Okay, so this is a very thin book page that I thought, well, I'll use it because I show you how to use maybe something that's a little bit flimsy, but we're gluing so many other things on it, it doesn't matter. It's just there to help hold everything together. So it becomes a very useful piece. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to glue this down on this side right here. So over here, I'll just kind of line it up with the edge. And see how it's a little bit shorter. And I'll open this up. And just smooth it out. Make sure I can fold it. And I made it a little bit shorter so it doesn't interfere with the fold. Okay? So you want to trim it down a little bit. At least probably 5 1/4 inches you can get away with. if you're using an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper folded in half for your outside. Now, if you like having odd pages sticking out, then do what you love. If you want it to stick out more, then cut your pages a different size. Okay, kind of make this work a little bit. Okay, so now we have this whole area in here to do something with. Aren't you excited? All right, so strap of paper. Strips of paper. Alrighty, so here's what I started playing around with. I had these papers. So say you have a piece of 1 inch wide printed ribbon that you love. You have a piece of wallpaper. You have a piece of fabric that you're in love with. Maybe it was your great grandmother's, or it was your mom's favorite cotton top that she had, or something like that. Cut you a strip, especially if you want to be able to get more bang for your buck. I'm cutting a 1 inch strip of this, so it goes a long ways if you've got only a small amount and you want to be able to kind of see more of that pattern. And I just cut these 2 strips, and then I cut a 8.5 by 11 sheet in half, so this is 4 1/4 inches wide. And we're going to start by gluing down this little piece right across the top. So what other things that is about a 1 inch wide strip that you could use in your junk journal? What do you have? Too much excitement? I got carried away with pink today. I don't know why. I had a bunch of it. You like the flowers and the stripes? You think they'll be cute together? Well, this is, you know, if you're intimidated by a whole sheet of a pattern, but you like it, well, cut it up. Cut it into smaller pieces, and that will give you a little bit more bang for your buck because you can spread it out in different places. So I'm just lining it up, one right next to the other. Okay. And then I made these pockets, and I did make these off camera because they took time. So I cut a piece of book page. There's 2 pieces of book page glued back to back. And I cut it to be 3 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I went to my fabric and I ripped a strip that was 2 1/2 inches wide. And then what I did was I just figured out what size it needed to be on the front here. And before I went to the sewing machine, I glued a piece of paper on the one side of this strip of fabric, and I zigzag stitched just on that piece of paper. So I got a stitch here. Then I laid it down and stitched around the edges. So you can't see it now because of my tabs on the inside. And that's a little fabric pocket. So you actually have the fabric part, and then we have this part back here as well. So that's going to go down here. And I'm showing you that because I want this strip to come to the top of my pocket, but not so far down. And I didn't want to cut this piece any smaller and have a little tiny scrap of paper. Why? I just use it. So I'm just kind of looking at that. And then I'll come in here and put my glue. And I'm putting a very thin amount. It looks like it's a lot, but it really isn't as much as it looks. All right, so I'm going to hold this up for a second. I'm going to slide this down to right about there. So you could use all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that gives me still gives me a good border of this piece. See that? All right. Yeah, washi tape could be used for the strips. Yep, yep. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Robin. You like that? Okay. And what's cool about this, I had enough to do 2 pages, just like this, because I cut it up. And in fact, I think I still have a strip left that I haven't used yet. See how that's coming together? All right. Now I need, where is it? Ah. All right, so then I had these words by Calico Collage. They're printed a little bit bigger than the other words I used earlier. And I should have glued this on before I made the pocket, but I forgot. So I'm just going to stick that on there. And I'm putting a generous amount of glue. And then I'm going to quickly take a card and stick it behind there so that that glue doesn't stick it to closed. Okay? All right. So now I have these 2 little guys. So we're just kind of adding another little layer, breaking up the stripes. Remember, we've got pockets here, so we're going to put some journal cards in. Let's go over here. You like the colors? Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so then I have, these are the small beach rose, and I want to put those like that. I thought this was pretty enough that you could say, maybe you were trying to document an event where you took some photos, and you could put photos right here of whatever, and then you could stick in your pockets here memorabilia from the event. Yeah? All right, so then this is going to go back here. And then I have, this is from the Royal Peacock kit. We'll go there. And I think I need another card. I do. Okay. And then this is from Grandma's Garden. That's going to go there. And I know I saw some more cards earlier. Where, oh, where did they go? Why did they leave me? Okay, I just had those. How could they disappear? Oh, I used it. Okay, never mind. I was like, where did they go? All right, well, we'll just do this. I got this little strip that's left over, so I'm going to put that in there. So it wasn't a big card, but we've got one. And then how about if we, well, I'm trying to, we got one more page to make, and we got to make the cover. So I think we're going to call it good. So this is some of Norella's words, and I forget which set this is, but they're really long. And I thought, well, what if I went up too far. Put a little strip. That's a 1-inch strip of fabric that I put on there with a strip of paper, like I said before, and a zigzag stitched around it. Never forget why you started. And then this will go on the other side. Yeah, and so that's from Grandma's Garden digital kit, Julie. And it says, Grandma's garden is grown with seeds of love and warm sunshine, sprinkled now and then with a rain shower, and sown with patient, loving hands. Okay, so then that's going to come in this way. So you don't see it, okay? So when you come to this page, you'll come here, and then you flip this out, and you're like, wow, look at all the pink. All right, so let's do this side. Flip it. Okay, so here is the scrapbook piece of paper. So 12 by 12 sheet of scrapbook paper. I ended up cutting it down. I chose to do it. The measurements I'm going to give you are only because that was the void between the two strips that I used. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5-inch wide strip, maybe 5 1/4. And then I had these pieces that are from one of Norella's pattern papers. It was just a whole page of stripes like this. And I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll glue these down. And then I have this strip that I'll glue in the middle. And that kind of gives us a different contrast from the other side of the page that's so bright. We're toning it down just a little bit. You forget why you started things all the time? Oh yeah, it'd be great for Mother's Day for sure. Yeah, because you could take a picture in the garden and on Mother's Day. You could do it for Easter. Lots of options there. All right, so I'm just going to glue this first strip down across the page here. I'm going to not glue this one down yet. I want to glue this one because when I was trimming it apart, I was trying to cut it halfway between, but this is like the top or the bottom, and I wanted to use all of it. So I thought, well, I'll just cut the strip and then I will show how to cover it up so it's somewhat equal across the page. So that's why I measured this a certain size. Now, you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to get precise. I did this time. And I guess the reason is I just like having leftover paper. Oh, thank you, Julie. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to come up with different ideas for y'all. And I hope, when I share something, again, look at your scrapbook paper, look at wallpaper, look at whatever you're working on at the moment. Fabric and just all kinds of stuff. It's something is crooked, but we're just going to go with it. There. All right, so I'm going to fold this in half. And like I said earlier, I like to take my distressed ink and I'll just kind of run across that edge real quick. Okay. Need more glue. All right, so there's my page to start with. Okay. Woo, we're cooking now, let me tell you. All right, so book page. And then this is one of those tear off notepads. And I'm using these a lot because look how thick that tab is. I don't even know how many pages it has. It had 343 sheets. And I have hardly used any of them. So you're going to see more of this. But I wanted a way to kind of use it that kind of made it a focal point, but also just kind of blended with the page. Well, this to me worked out really well. I'm going to put this here and one there. So I'll glue this down first. You can make this a pocket if you want. I didn't. I just wanted to have a little pattern on the page because the other side has the pockets. And the more pockets you put, the more bulk you put into your journals. So if you can distribute them throughout your journal a little bit more, then the bulkiness is not as bad. Because this is going to be a bulky page. All right, and that's why thin paper rules. So now I'm going to put a couple of these same images that I showed earlier, postcards. And I just thought, just kind of give us a nice little pattern on the page. We've created some writing space here to write a little note. You know, use the techniques that we've used to tip in or create another flip out or something. Use paper clips if you want to hold more onto the page, wanted more writing space. Oh, it got crooked just a little bit. Well, I'm just going to leave it. It's stuck now. Didn't have to be so perfect. All right, I'm going to do this one on purpose as well. So we're going to go kind of like that. There. It's on purpose now. And then I took the words again and added some fabric and paper. So we'll put those up there. And like that. Okay, you like it? You have scrapbook paper that has a very similar look. Yeah, I mean, this is scrapbook paper here, and this is a digital download. All right, so now I've got these two little scraps that just so happen to fit in this area here. So what we're going to do is I've got rubber stamp. I think I'll just go ahead and just glue it down. We're going to trust that I'll be able to stamp it without messing up. So I'm just going to put that, kind of fill in that space. All right, and then I've got from the curly swirly. So we're going to stamp it in the bottom here. I just flipped it over so we get that different look on the other page. You see that? So that's the page when we get to it. Lots of layers. It's a substantial page. Then we come over here, and let's get a different page here, and we'll flip this out, and we get all that goodness. You like it? What was that pad of paper? Oh yeah, this was just a it's just a pad of paper that I've had for a long time. It's from Michael Design Works. This was called Honeysuckle Note. And it was just little, it's got a bird's nest and there's some flowers in the background. And it's come loose. That's probably why I got it, because I think it was on sale at Tuesday Morning a couple of years ago. I like it. So here's what it looks like straight. And there's what it looks like crooked. Thank you, Cheryl. You love it, Robin. Well, good. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we're going to set this aside. So with the mop-up paper, that we made earlier, and a gel print. So this was the gel print that I had. And I wanted to kind of use some of it, but I also wanted to get more bang for my buck again. So I cut it into a 4 1/4 inch strip. And then I cut that strip into 4 1/4 inch squares. And then I diagonally cut those squares to get these corners. And I've added the little tabs to them like I do. This is from Grandma's Garden. And this is from Peacock, Royal Peacock, that's in my shop. And then from the Damask Bird Cube, I stamped on a punched circle of book page. And I'm telling you this way, you would have better luck if you go ahead and take your paper punch, punch the shape, then take your rubber stamp and stamp on it, because it's really difficult to line it up through the punch unless you're using a die cutting machine where you could lay it right over your stamped image. I find that's easier. Then I used another 1-inch strip of the same gel print and put the word on top. Behind here is the 1912. So that kind of makes this layout, because we had so much pink in the journal. I thought we needed to add a little teal to it. And on this side, I used the same leafy border, but this time I used the companion rubber stamp. There is a garden in her face where roses and white lilies grow. A heavenly paradise is that place wherein all pleasant fruits do grow. And that's Thomas Companion. And then this side, there is a garden in every childhood, an enchanted place where colors are brighter, the air softer, and the morning more fragrant than ever again. And it's got little flowers in that. And I think that's called Childhood Garden. And then this is the cute little Beauties Cube butterflies. I did 2 layers of book page. 2 layers of book page. Okay, it's time for the raffle. That color really pops, doesn't it? And then over here, I got from Grandma's Garden in a pocket. Same bird. This time I used Free as a Bird, which is from the Wildflower Kit. Yeah. Okay. All right, so there's another page made. I just wanted to show it to you. We've got to do the raffle here in just a moment. Let me get this started. All right, let me get a drink. You love the simplicity of that page. I just thought it was so pretty. Thank you so much. It's just simple. I like the rubber stamping because there's no bulk. And because there's no bulk, you're still getting a neat decorative page that you made. It could be on coffee dyed paper, the Tattered Angels papers, whatever that. Maybe if you took a book page and scrape it with acrylic white paint or ivory paint and spray it with Tattered Angels and stamp over the top of it, okay? You're welcome, Lori. Oh, it's windy out. You have your peanut butter jar. You're throwing them out to the squirrels. Oh, okay. All right. Will do, Lori. Well, enjoy your class. Yeah, because I'm getting really close. We're going to do this one more page, then we got to do the cover. Okay, so I printed from Grandma's Garden. I decided that since I already had a few elements laying here on my desk from Grandma's Garden, that I would go ahead and print a couple others to kind of go with it. I didn't mean for this to become Grandma's Garden journal, but it kind of got a little bit, okay? So this is Grandma's Garden journal, and here's what I did, is I fussy cut pieces of this, and we're going to create an envelope. So here's what I've got. I've got an envelope where I used to work for an insurance company, and when I was working there, I did all the billing. So I would get the Dell bills every week. Actually, more often every week. It was frequent. So I ended up saving some of these envelopes because I was like, what am I going to do with these? But I need to save them. So I cut the top off. But now what I want to do is I want to cut this down to be 8.5 inches tall. And however wide the envelope is. Okay. So then I took this piece and I gauged it onto here. How big did I need to make it to cover the front of my envelope? Okay. And then I trimmed it to be that size. So we're just going to pretend it's trimmed. And then taking a look at the window on the envelope here. So I have my cut piece. I then marked where the top is and the bottom is of that window. So then what I could do is I could fussy cut all the way around. So here's the top part and bottom part, and I did cut off this strip over here, and this is all open, and I've gone ahead and put distress inks on it, and then this is going to go over the window there. Do you see it? All right, so I want to put some distress inks on this envelope because I forgot to do that. And we're going to do the raffle. Okay? I know, squirrel. I wanted y'all to chew on that and ask any questions that you might have. Okay, so it is 5:30. This is the last page. We're going to make the cover, and then we'll do the journal swap. Or journal raffle. I may have 2 prizes. You love that? Kind of see how that came together? And then I saved this piece, and it's going to go over here. It was just easier for me that I cut this piece out, and then I measured and just cut a little strip to go right there. Okay? All right, so the winner of the ice cream and the, no swapping here, people. Here is going to be for the ice creams and the donuts. I couldn't think what they were. Winner, Lori Merchant. I'm sending you more stuff to put in your stash. She just left, I think. Reset. All right. Hey, and Robin, if Lori's not here when we get to the raffle, we need to enter for her, okay? All right, so now we're going to do... I'm sorry that Angelica wasn't here, because guess what? We're going to give away some mop-up pages. So here's some of my sprayed through mop-up pages that were made in my spray box. Like, here's where I was spraying individual pieces, and on the other side I sprayed a stencil, and it's just kind of yummy texture. This is from the St. Patrick's Day journal, and it's got purple on the back, so I just thought that would be kind of fun in a journal. And there's kind of a little space that you could frame out and use for writing, and there's some more little framed little areas that you could use. This is just a mess. I think I used, oh gosh, what is that? Gauze on here, spray, and just colored over and over little scraps of paper. Here's where it has little spots, but it also has the teal paper. There's green on this side. All right, so you get those mop-up papers. I had a pile here. I thought, well, I will pass those along. Can't eat real ice cream and donuts. I don't either anymore. Well, I take that back. We have a small little ice cream every so often. All right, so I'm going to go around the edge of this real fast. Mainly just so that if it peeks through under what I'm going to adhere down, it's not so stark white, okay? So this I thought would be a fun way to use a window envelope. All right, so I'm just going to glue this down onto the envelope here. I will go ahead before I glue it down and kind of put a little bit of distress ink around the edge of the window. It'll come off the plastic, so if you get it on the plastic, you can just rub it off. So I'll kind of help cover that a little bit. And I see a spot right here. So kind of blend that together. All right, let's glue that down. You've purchased some new things, so you're very aware what you should not be eating. I'm going to wait for the swimsuits to go on sale because I am really excited. Henry got an amazing deal from Carnival Cruise Lines that we just could not pass up, because basically we're going to be able to go on a cruise for free. And we're going to go in January of 2022, which will be for our 30th wedding anniversary. So I told Henry that I want to save my money, and whenever swimsuits go on really good sale, I need to go buy a couple of suits for the cruise, because the suits I have are like 6 years old. It's time for new suits. So I'll probably be just right there with you. So Robin, we may need your assistance to babysit some canines. You love mop-up pages. You work so hard to make pretty gel printed pages, and then I always choose the mop-up ones. I understand, Kimberly. That's why I chose to use that gel print on top of a mop-up page. That's funny. Okay. But wait, this is kind of plain, and this side is plain. So what I'm going to do next is I've got another stencil from the April Stencil Club. And I'm just going to line it up here. And I have the Dusty Concord this time. No, I take that back. I want the pink. It was laying here. I want the pink picked raspberry. Picked raspberry. And I'm just going to go on the back side, actually the inside of the envelope. And I'm just using those, they're makeup brushes that people have been selling them. There's a company that actually sells them for the craft industry, but they are so expensive. I just thought that was ridiculous, because I knew that there was a product in the makeup industry that would work, and I found them, and I'll share the link. I think Robin's got it on Amazon. They're just makeup brushes. All right, so I did the inside, and I want to do this back panel real fast. And then I'll show you the other pages. And we're going to make the cover. All right, there we go. This way. I'm going to clean my hands real fast. Just real fast. All right. I got this little piece of paper out. We're going to use it in just a moment. So I've got a strip of book page or sheet music, because I wanted to cover up where it said Dell.com on the back. So I'm just going to take this piece and glue it down right across there. It's really brittle paper, so I'm putting quite a bit of glue on here to kind of help hold it into place. I'm going to use this time I'm not scraping, I'm just pressing. Okay. And then I've got Springtime in the Garden. It's from the Wildflower Kit. You're their favorite brushes for distressing and stenciling. I like these brushes. I'm glad that somebody, said let's use makeup brushes, because they work great. All right, so what I want to do right here, I don't know, I've just kind of gotten a kick of using this leafy border. So I'm going to ink it up and stamp it where it's coming off the side. Oh, I was off the, see there? Okay. I've got another one of the small beach rose. I just thought it would be pretty right there. Oreo loves you. Hercules is indifferent. Hercules would love you more if you're here and you do what you do at the shop, which is feed Oreo all the time. The small dog can be terrorists. You got your brushes at the Dollar Tree, Charlene? Yeah, so, you know, there's different types. I like the ones I got on Amazon because I like the handle and I can hold it pretty well. All right. So then, that was the back. This is the inside. I've still got this rubber stamp out. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp, which is going to help frame out this envelope across the top. Across the top. Across the bottom. Okay. And then I've got another strip of this printed paper. So here's another way of using that strip of paper. And can you see how cutting it into 1-inch strips can make it go a long ways and give you a little bit more bang? So maybe you have a really specialty paper that you only have one of and you want to use it, but you're like, but if I use it, it'll be only on one page. Well, no, if you cut it up, you can use it for multiples. You got the same set that I have, yeah. You think the Dollar Tree ones haven't broken? See, I've not broken any of the ones that I have. Man, you must be tough, Sam. What are you doing? Maybe it's the way I hold them. I think I would love them better if they had a different type of handle. I don't know. Just this type of brush is what I like. It's not the shape, it's the brush. And I don't know. Maybe I can find something better. All right, and then I'm going to put this little flower right there on the back side. It's funny how we find tools that we use, how much we love them for whatever reason. You beat your boyfriend with, that's what it is. Stop hitting people with them. That's hilarious. Let's put that right there. Okay. Just see how pretty that turned that envelope. And we didn't add a pocket, but we did add some writing space. Okay. And here's another one. I did the same. This was just the other side. So I used one page that I fussy cut, and I still have the strip in the middle of just the lines that I can use somewhere else. All right, I'm going to show you one other page that we've already made. Let's see, where is it? Okay, so I took some Robert Browning poems and I cut the page out of the book. But I wanted to put 2 pages together, so I used a strip of paper and glued 2 pages together. So if you got one page that you want it to go a certain way, this is the only size you have, glue a strip of paper onto it. And then you can have it still, just don't go too far over that you're into your text if you want to see it. And then you'll be able to see both sides. And I didn't decorate the edges. You could rubber stamp down that edge. You could add some lace. We can do all kinds of stuff. But that is what I made out of those. And then Lori sent me some coffee dye paper a while back. And I decided today to use a couple of those sheets. So this is the Romantic Rose. And then I just added the sentiments in the center. And I think that's from the Shabby Ephemera, Shabby Floral, I think Ephemera is what these are from. And then I cut out some coloring book pages just for some interest, okay? So I've done all that. The pages inside are going to be a mix from Grandma's Garden and Shabby Floral, I think. And this is from the Wildflowers kit here. That's just a journal lines page. This is from the Shabby Chic set. I think this is from One Fine Day. I just love that patterns in here. So, there's our page kind of lineup. Here's my stuffs that we're going to use to make a journal. So, I kind of done a few things ahead of time. And I didn't want to leave it all to the end. So this is a page out of Grandmother's Garden. And this isn't the other side of it, but just so you know, I had a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And I trimmed this to be just slightly more narrow. It's about 5 inches wide. And then I took a little bit off the top, or the bottom here. So it's about 8.25 inches tall. And I think I'm going to go ahead and make it 8 inches tall. Because when I made the other cover, I kind of wished I'd done some different steps. So we're just going to do this real fast. And I accidentally used my black dauber on this. So I'm just adding some black to go around that edge. Okay. So I have this piece. We're going to use it later. And then I have this fabric that may seem ugly to some of y'all, but it reminded me of a grandma. I mean, that's what I thought of when I saw it. And I thought, well, I could use this image on top of that. So why don't we kind of attach these together to a piece of canvas and use the cardstock to make a cover. And what I need to do next is I've kind of laid these on top of each other. I need to trim this piece, so I'm going to trim it just slightly out from the edge, and I'll rip it. And yeah, it's difficult sometimes to rip, so just build up your upper body strength. It'll be good for you. Linda said so. Just don't give yourself a black eye. All right. So we got a piece of fabric that's slightly bigger than an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So this is about an inch wider. So it's probably 9 by 12-ish, maybe a little bit longer. Okay. And then I have a strip. This is the width of fabric. And I believe it's a 44-inch strip. So I'm going to fold it in half and take my scissors and cut this in half. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my center. So we kind of line this up here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's about my center. And I'm going to take the salvage end of the strip and I'm going to grab my glue finger there. And I'm just making a few little dots of glue here, and then we're going to put this strip right here. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of glue down here to help hold that in place. Okay? All right, and then I'll use this as a guide. You can also kind of line it up so we know that when we get to this other side, that's where our strip needs to go. So I'll fold this back. We'll put some glue right here. We'll put our strip down. And then this is going to be my back. So on the back, I want just a little bit more glue. Kind of down the center. Because I'm not going to sew on top of it. And I just want it to kind of have a little bit of adhesive to it. You could also use fusible webbing, or some people call it Wonder Under if you want a product. Thermal web is another. Okay, so I'm just kind of pressing this into place with my fingers. Because we're going to go to the sewing machine. Sewing lamb! And here's what we're going to do. We're going to sew. I'm going to fold this in half real fast. We're going to sew this piece onto our cover. So I want to center that. And I'll glue it down just to help keep it in place while I'm at my sewing machine. And my sample, I didn't trim down this cover. And I'm glad I did, because you can see more of the pattern of the fabric. All right, so I'm going to drink. Then we're going to go to the sewing machine. We're going to stitch around this piece here. Yeah, it's been a long winter. That's for sure. All right. So let's change over here to the sewing cam. I have done printed at Staples. That's who I've used. When I didn't print at home and I needed to print somewhere else, I did Staples. Well, thank you, Rhonda. You love the colors? I thought it was kind of fun. All right, so we're just going to zigzag stitch right around this image. I leave my needle down and rotate when I get to the corner. So I want the needle in the down position on that side. And then when I rotate it around, it gives me a closed zigzag stitch around my project. I think this fabric was given to me, or I bought it at a garage sale or something, because it had a hole in it, like it was going to be used to cut out a garment. Okay, let me come back over here for just a second. All right, so I've sewn this piece on. It's kind of flimsy, and we need to address the outside edge. Now, what I wish I would have done is I would have cut this bigger, but I didn't, so we're just going to go with it. So I've got this piece here. I'm going to fold this in half. It's 8.5 by 11. It was 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, but like a ding dong, what I should have done was cut it to be a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm just marking where the center is. All right, so there's the center of my journal. And what I want to do is glue this down. And I'm going to glue it really well, because even though I am going to stitch around the outside edge, I'm really not going to be hitting the cardstock. But I want to put the cardstock in now just in case I do hit it. Okay. All right, so we're going to go back to the sewing machine, and I'm just going to stitch around this outside edge to help keep these pieces together, okay? Back over here. So I'm going to start on the front cover here. So, about to lose the camera. Going for a ride. So I'm going to start on the front cover here and go down the edge, and then I will zigzag stitch back and forth or do reverse when I get to the tie. Couldn't get my words out. Zigzag stitching away. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, so we're going to finish the cover here in just a moment. Then I will put the journals together. There'll be two. And then we'll do the last raffle for the journals. Journals. Where did we get? Thank you, Tanya, for your donation. Thank you, 8-cent Stan. Thank you, Kathy, Margarita, Janice, Laura, Giovanna, and Margie. All right, so we stitched all the way around. I'm keeping the second journal. Well, yay. I'm glad I get to keep one. All right, so again, I'll line it up and fold it. See how that came together? And it might be a little crooked, but I'm not worried about it. And again, this didn't catch, but I like it being there. Okay, so now I have this little image that was left over from cutting off the side. So I thought I would add this into here as a fussy cut element. So I'm just going to come in here a little bit away from the edge. And just quickly fussy cut it out. So again, I'm trying to use up all of it so that I don't end up with this piece hanging out in my studio for a couple of weeks till I figure out what to use it. All right, so we got this piece. So what if we put it here? I'm going to mark my center again. Well, I know where it is pretty much. Okay, I think we'll put it right here in the center. And you know, we could get away with putting it, no, it does have a definite up and down. Okay, let's put some distress inks on there. Strips of paper everywhere. Oh my goodness. Is that digital from Calico Collage's latest bird? No, it is not. No, I haven't printed the bird kit yet. Norella has a new bird kit, and that is from Grandma's Garden. This is from Grandma's Garden. All right, so this, I think I'll just glue it down. I was going to make it a tuck spot, but it won't be a very good tuck spot, really. Well, I guess it could be if we tilt it, maybe. All right, we're going to glue down this side and this corner, and it'll be a deep tuck spot. So just kind of tilt it just a little bit. And that way, if you wanted, you could tuck something behind there. Yeah? Okay. So then I had this sheet music. And I thought I would put it over here. Put a little bit of distress inks on the edge. You're loving the cover? Well, thank you, Charlene. Oh, yeah, you were having problems finding ink, weren't you? All right, so now I'm just going to glue this piece down. It's really thin paper. I wanted the look to mat my next piece. So I thought, well, how can I do this without creating too much bulk? Well, I'll just glue it straight down and it'll be a frame for the next layer. So again, it's really thin paper, so I'm just kind of pressing my block on top. There. Okay. And then from, I don't know which kit this is from. It's a floral kit that it was in there, and I, for some reason, didn't use them. I had 2 of them. I was like, wow, I have 2 of those. So I thought, well, I'll set it aside, and I went ahead and added some strips of paper to the backs of these, and I forgot to cut off the corners, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, and fold this up. Got a little, fold this up over here. You found your reorganized video, and you found in your own storage unit a baker's rack perfect for your 12 by 12. Oh, perfect! That's awesome. Love it when you find stuff you already have. How much stuff did you get rid of, Rhonda? I know of a box that went to Robin. Oh, okay, so see, I'm kind of matting it with the music behind a little bit. What do you think? Like it? And then I just took from Grandma's Garden a couple more of her words. And then this will be a pocket right here. Okay. I didn't add any other embellishments because I like to keep mine relatively flat, but you could if you want. All right, so let's do this. Let's organize and clean up here second. And we're going to lay out all of our book pages and printed pages, and we're going to build our journals. So I think when you open the journal, we need more flowers for the first page. So that's going to be my first page that will come out of the journal or into the journal. And then after that, let's see what we've got here. Do we want that in the center of our journal? Do we want that in the center of our journal? So you want flip out in the center or no flip out in the center? I think we'll do that. You predict movies that may or not be tough. Oh, you're getting a box from Rhonda too, your lordship. And yes, you're getting a journal from me. Yes, yes, yes. How funny. Yeah, she's getting back some bean dagels. Yeah, I'm going to look for, yeah, she's going to get back some stuff. The flip out for the center. Okay, I had to get some beverage. All right, we'll do the flip out for the center. Okay, that's going to go over here. Trying to line it out. See what I want to go where. this is different page. Okay, this is this page. Okay. Right here. And let's do that and this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we got one extra. That's okay. Let's see. Do we want it this way? So sometimes I'll look to see, okay, do I like that look? Or do I like that look? Or would this be better? You know, when you get to this page set, I think this will be better. So I'm going to swap these out. There, okay. My nose itches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I've got a cover, and then I'll grab a page. I'll just go down the line here, grabbing pages. Oh, you've seen the journal you've seen on Canvas. Oh, thank you so much, Margie, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I got too many pages. Thank you. I think I did a pretty good job this time around. I'm gonna line this up. I was just trying to have fun with mixing it up a little bit to where it wasn't quite so matchy. So you do get that eclectic feel because, you know, even though we're using similar colors, but all of the ephemeras from different kits. And so it kind of mixes it up just a little bit. And then this will be here, and then that'll be our center. Okay, so I'm going to set this right here for a moment. We'll build the next one. Been planting flowers, Bonnie. Awesome. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. I planted some flowers yesterday. We decided to splurge and buy, I think it might have been $30 worth of plants, which is a lot because plants are expensive. But we ended up getting a pallet of like 18 flowers and then a couple of pots of flowers that were like $5, $6 a piece. So I ended up putting together different types of vessels, in total 10 different pots. Some of them are hanging pots, some of them are on the ground, some of them are on pedestals. Of some red petunias and some red geraniums because Henry said we need some color. It's so stark out there because we haven't greened up yet here in Yukon. It's working on it, but no flowers are blooming really in my yard at the moment. I need to work on that too, but that's what I was doing, was adding some more flowers for some color, and I planted a bunch of seeds. Yes, I have not planted them yet. I do have a place I want to put them. So I was showing it to Henry, and now I've got to clean it up a little bit. There's some grass growing in that area, and I don't want there to be grass. Oh, Carrie, hello, and thank you. And I don't want the grass growing up. Robin won 120 bulbs of flowers from Publishers Clearinghouse. Thank you so much for your donation. And of course, she lives in an apartment. She didn't have a place to put them, so she gave them to me. So I had to figure out where was I going to put these and how am I going to put them. And Yeah, so this is a big ordeal because that's 120 bulbs I have to find a place for. Oh, you always put 2 spider prints that go crazy outside along with your hanging piece. Oh, I bet. Lily of the Valley, Penny, ranunculus, daisy, sunflowers. Oh, wow, that's a bunch. Yeah, she has no yard, so they went to me. So I'm thankful for that. Thank you, thank you. It saved me some money. I'll take it. So thank you very much. All right, so I'm just getting 3 times the height of my journal and wax linen thread. I've attached 4 paper clips because this journal is funky and thick, and I didn't want to mess with the binding. Okay, so I really want it to be secure, held together, and I've got a template that is 8.5 inches tall, and there's 3 holes centered. I'm going to V it up, so we're going down through that center V. Woo! Be careful. And I've got fun foam underneath my journal here, so when I push through, I don't scar up my mat. Okay? And then I'll just move it over. Okay, close it. It's a Tim Holtz craft pick by Tonic Studios. So I've got my wax linen thread. We're just going to start in the center. Bring it around. Leave a tail coming out, okay? We're going to bring it around to this one, which is kind of hard to see at the moment. Okay, so we're going to go right there. Sometimes when you have fabric, the fabric will close back up, so you can't see the hole. All right, my paper clips are trying to escape. I'm going to go down here to the bottom. Oh, no, I'm going to go to the inside. I forgot. Inside. Center, not the bottom. I like this figure 8 style of journal binding because it secures it so it doesn't twist. Some people will do the outside and then come down here. I don't know. This is the way I like doing it because it seems to keep the journals from twisting around on me. Okay, and then we're going to take this one and slip up underneath. I'm going to pull these in opposite directions because this thread's actually from down here. This thread is up here. I'll check the front, so I've got my tie in there. So I want this smooth. And then we'll just tie it into a square knot. You're loving this journal, Rhonda? Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because sometimes it takes me a while to come up with ideas that are different. Not the same thing. All right, while I've got it laying here, I'm going to sign the back. I'll go ahead and tie it shut, and then we'll put the other journal together. All right. Well, I did pretty good on time. It's just 10 after 6. So we did pretty good because I've just got to bind this journal and flip through it, right? All right, so if y'all haven't already gotten into the raffle for the mop-up papers, do so now. Y'all get in on that. If you want a chance to win one of these 2 journals, then make a donation of any dollar amount. And you will be entered at the end, or you have to enter yourself. I'll say get in now. And you could win a journal. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's poke this down in. I used canvas for the foundation that I sewed on the cover. You know, if you've got some old clothing, you know, you've got an old canvas tarp. I mean, really, you could use just about anything. Oh, thank you, Connie, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you? Good to see you in the chat today. All right, so we're going to do the same pamphlet stitch. I got to take my allergy medication because, man, it's brutal out there. We had so much wind, it blows all the stuffs around. And whoever the person was that thought Bradford pear trees were the perfect thing to plant across Oklahoma, they were a big capital IDOT, because I am so allergic to those things. And I've got petals in my yard. I went out into the back, you know, Robin, where our patio is. There isn't visible from that side of the house a Bradford pear tree. The winds have been so strong that the Bradford pear tree that's way over in my neighbor's yard, way that way, blew the leaves all the way over my house. the flower petals. It's crazy. They're awful. Your car is yellow. It's awful. Thank you, Carrie. It's dusty everywhere because everything's blowing around. Yeah, it's not good. I gotta take more allergy medicine. All right, we got a couple of strings. You're gonna have a couple of strings until you kind of clean it up. So if you're making it for a gift, you kind of need to play with it a little bit. All right, y'all get in on the raffle. I want to sign the journal. And then we're going to pick the winner of the mop-up papers. So get in on the raffle. All right, so this was March the 29th that I created these journals. I'll go ahead and tie it shut. Now these ties are longer than necessary. So if you get it and you don't like them that long, you can trim them and you'll have little pieces of fabric you can use somewhere. So don't feel like you have to keep it that long, okay? This was Grandma's Garden that I used on the cover. All right, so let's see who's going to be the winners of the mop-up papers. You ready? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, until you move to North Carolina. Well, yeah, California, you don't get the winds coming across. Yeah, allergies are awful. Okay, so we're going to pick the winner of the mop-up papers. Why are you acting that way, Cameron? And the winner of the mop-up papers is... Pause for dramatic effect. Raven! Hey, Raven! I didn't know you were here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have got strings everywhere. Well, yay, Raven. I think you've got some of my mop-up papers in the past, haven't you? All right, so we're going to reset this here in just a moment. And these people have donated, Connie or Constance, Paper Petals, who is Carrie. Hey, Carrie, I'm so glad you're here. Margie, thank you, Margie. You made a $30 donation. Thank you so much. Tanya, an 8-cent stamp. And I think that was, oh, I said her name earlier and now it just escaped me. But she sent $19.99. Thank you so much. Kathy Lake, Margarita, Janice, Lori, Giovanna, and Margie. Oh, Margie, you did 35. So, Margie, you need to just buy a journal. We may have to send you a special journal. All right, so I'm going to call these, I called those names up. So we're going to reset this and we're going to right click, open, And I need to copy this and go here and open giveaway. All right, so only those who have donated are eligible for this last raffle for one of these two journals. I think am I keeping one or do we have enough? I did not know if we had enough. Did we have enough? Did we have enough? So we'll just go through this now. All right, those of you that donated, make sure you enter the raffle. Oh, I think we did make it there. That seems like we have enough. All right. So I had this fabric. Life is good. I'm glad, Connie. This was some fabric that it had a weird shape cut out of part of it. And I thought, well, I'm sure it's big enough for what I want to do. And then the canvas is from Canvas Corp Brands. I had a bunch of scraps that they'd given me, and I've been trying to use that up. But, you know, think an old denim, an old blanket. I mean, just anything fabric-like that you want to use that kind of gives it some more body. This is the image from Grandma's Garden here, sewn on top. And then on the inside, I had some scrapbook paper, cardstock, that I decided to use because I thought the pattern just kind of blended, and it also made a little more eclectic feeling. This was the other half of the journal cover that I printed, and I just fussy cut out. And then this is a tuck spot, so if you wanted to put something in there, you could. This is from the Wildflowers journal kit. This is from the Journal Lines journal kit. I can't remember which mason jars, but there's a bunch. This is the Victorian stencil, and we're using the leafy vine. And these are some of the printable words by Calico Collage. Only good girls keep diaries. Bad girls don't have time. That's Tahula Bankhead, and this was from the Wildflowers kit. You love the frayed edge. Oh, thank you, Carrie. I thought it would be kind of fun having the frayed edges. I don't do that very often. Both journals, Robin says. Yes, Margie says. 2 journals. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Impatient Sam, I can rewatch. Okay, Robin's entering for Lori. Good, good, good. Yeah, Lori had a class. And then this was the Robert Browning. So you can see the fabric. I just realized I'm not really where I can see the camera. Or paper right here. So you could use fabric as well to glue your papers together. And if you wanted, you could also add another strip of paper out here or do some rubber stamping. I didn't this time. Oh, look, it happens to match across the pages. That helps too, I think. That's kind of cool. And then we made this journal card by using a stencil, rubber stamps, and digital image. Using scraps that I had, these tear-off notepad papers. If you don't have those, if you've got regular notebook paper, then you can dye it. You can dye it with coffee and tea and Kool-Aid and avocados and there's all kinds of things. Beets. This is from the Butterfly Beauties Cube. This is from the Wildflowers Ephemera Kit. These are some of Ladies and Flowers by Calico Collage. I made these a while back. And then this was a jar. This is a shrunk down jar. Another one of those tear off pages. Piece of music. You just see how eclectic that's all coming together by using all these different layers in our journal. I'm liking it. That's the shabby chic. I didn't do anything on the back side of the coloring book page. You may want to. It's up to you. You can coffee dye them, whatever. This was from One Fine Day. Used the damask birds. This was a gel print. This is from Grandma's Garden, and this is from Royal Peacock. So you get the variety of colors and birds. On this side, we used rubber stamps. So this is the Leafy Vine, the Butterfly Beauties Cube, the Companion Rose. This is from Grandma's Garden over here on an envelope that we fussy cut out. So you kind of see the background behind there. And then on this side, we did the same stamp. This is from the Flittering Gems, I think, paper pack, digital pack. This is from the Shabby Garden, Shabby Floral. Shabby Floral, I think. I don't remember. Grandma's Garden. This is from the Shabby Floral Ephemera Pack, Bella Rose stamp, coffee dye paper from Lori Marchant. So thank you, Lori. I appreciate you sending me these papers. And, you know, just throwing this out there, my address is in the box below. If you have an overflow of coffee dyed, avocado dyed, Kool-Aid dyed, whatever kind of dyed papers, I will be glad to take them. I like them in pairs of 2, only because I can put them back into the journals like I'm doing by using 2s. That's what I prefer. But, you know, just putting that out there. Cold today for you, Julie. It's windy here. You like the envelope, Carrie? Thank you. How did my hands get there's something wrong with it's changing. The camera is changing. They're not orange. I don't know why it's acting this way. I've made some changes on the camera and then it just doesn't want to cooperate. So I don't know if it's which one it is that's acting up. It just wants to make me orange. Hey, that's a little better. Oh, now I'm green. Let's try that. Is that a little better? That's a little better. All right, so here is from a digital image from Calico Collage that I used the strips because it was striped paper. This is a scrapbook paper. This is one of those little tear-off notepads. This is from some printable words from Calico Collage. A scrap of coffee dyed paper that I stamped on some of the floral postcards by Calico Collage. Here is the wildflowers. Yes, this is from the wildflowers kit. I think that's right. Not spring flowers, wildflowers. Oh man, maybe the spring flowers. I think it's the spring flowers. Anyhow, I backed them with some text weight pink paper that I had in my stash. And then we did the stenciling on this side from the April Stencil Club. It's still not right color-wise. And then this is some more of Norella's printable words, and I stamped the beach rose in the corner. Over on this side, we used the strips of paper again, so we kind of repeated that back over here with those strips of paper. So now we're seeing them again. We've got a pocket here and a pocket here out of fabric. And this is from either from the Shabby Cats or the Shabby Dogs kit, because I had these left over from a couple of weeks ago. This is from the Royal Peacock kit. You can go this way if you want. This is from Grandma's Garden. This is the Beach Rose Small here in the corner. That stripe is so crazy. And then we just did the same over here on this side. Then you flip it this way, and it starts to repeat itself. Grandma's Garden here, the other half of the envelope. So now you're kind of seeing how it all comes together, and we're able to see all these different features. I need to do something with the coloring book pages. I just haven't in a while. So we've got the ephemera laid out. I haven't done the scrappy papers like this in a while, and I really like how this turned out, especially like here. You know, just so happens that I put it next to this one. Just so happened. Oh, I planned it. It's exactly what I wanted to do. And these are back here. And I've already signed it, so that's the first one. So, you're so in love with them, Heather. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you enter the raffle, those of you that have donated. I'm glad you like it. Hey, when you win today, if you're a new person especially, do make sure that you go over to my website, lindaisrael.com, especially those of you who donated today, that you create a user account, and then you will send me a message that, hey, I donated, I'm so-and-so on YouTube. So, for example, to remind me Where are you? Heather. Heather is 8-cent stamp. Robin, write that down. Heather is 8-cent stamps. That way, if I can look at it again, I'll remember. Thank you, Giovanna. Create a user account, and then I will get you added to the YouTube donator membership on my website and get you discounts on ordering items and free things on my website. Thank you. You're so sweet. Okay, so this is another page from Grandma's Garden. I chose it because it says, Mary Quite Contary, how does your garden grow? Silver bells, cockle shells, and pretty maids all in a row. And then it's got the flower garden. It's got a little wheelbarrow. It's got a butterfly up here. So we chose this layout to go on this side. And this is a tuck spot as well. And then the wildflowers paper. And this is going to be the same concept. It's just going to have some variations because this is a different page of poems and different journal cards every so often. Maybe different images here and there. So I'm going to go quickly. All right, y'all get ready. We're going to be drawing the winner. And you're going to have to tell me, do you want the one with the birds or do you want the one with the garden? Flower cart. Say flower cart. That's what we'll do. Wheelbarrow. I like this page. I don't know why. It just seems something so pretty. I'm really glad how that one turned out. And then here's our center. So different images here. And then that bright pink. Wow! Lots of good writing space. There's our envelope again. Just stamping on a page. Alrighty. Did you like today? Did you see something different? Give you some new ideas? Just creasing this page. Alrighty. Last call. Here we go. It's time to get off here. At least it wasn't 7 o'clock. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So there we are. Let's see if everybody's in. So we had Connie, Carrie, Margie, Tanya, Heather, Kathy, Margarita, Janice, Lori, Giovanna, and Margie again donated. I just realized, Giovanna, you donated. Thank you so very much. You just love the fold-out page because it's pink. All right. So Margarita, Carrie, Kathy, Giovanna, Janice, Robin, Heather, Tanya, Connie, Margie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, everybody's in. All right, y'all ready? My eye is twitching. Ah. All right, the first winner. Do you want the birds or do you want the garden wheelbarrow? Wheelbarrow, I'll take flower cart, whatever you want to call it. Janice Brammer, congratulations. Did you answer my question? Have you kept all the journals that I've given you, or did you tear them up? Pass them along, shared them, gave them away, sold them. I don't know. Tell me which one you want. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Just tell me what you want. I have got to mess with the colors. This is just driving me crazy. It's not a very big trip. Oh, birds. All right, so Janice wants the birds. She's getting the birds. All right, so this person that I'm about to call, they're getting the wheelbarrow. Heather says she already wants it, the wheelbarrow. All right, the winner is Kathy Lake. Congratulations, Kathy. Winner, winner. You claimed it, Heather, but it didn't happen today. Maybe next week. Y'all like what I did? You want this? You want more of like what I did today? You may or may not get it. We'll see. Hey, I greatly appreciate y'all being here today. If you will, after this video is over, come back and leave a comment. Tell me what you liked about today. What was your favorite part? What you want to see more of in the future. Maybe tell me what is a favorite product that I shared today, whether it be my rubber stamps, or stencils, the Calico Collage images. Let me know what you thought. Tattered Angels colors. What is your favorite? What you like? I really appreciate that. Hey, and if you'll share this with your friends so they can follow along and create some beautiful journals as well, please do so. Hopefully they can come and be with us live. I understand if you can't. And thank you all that watch this as a replay as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I hope you can come live. You're welcome. Thank you, Tanya. You're very welcome. Congratulations, ladies, for the wins. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You still have them, Janice says. You tried, Heather. You tried. You tried to claim it. I have got, I haven't done very much of my own stamps yet. In fact, I didn't even show them today, but these are going to be 2 new stamps I'll be adding to my shop. I've got to work on packaging and getting it uploaded into my shop, but I've got a dragonfly and a note stamp. I'll also be making, as requested, I think some crosses. I'm going to look for some special vintage cross that I can turn into a rubber stamp. What else? We've got some word phrases. I have a poll inside the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group that if you see phrases there that you might want to see. I've got some more phrases cut, but I've got to get them mounted, and I finally got the backing to mount them. So these are some phrases that I'm working on. It says choose joy. This book belongs to, that type of thing. So I picked a few of them from the list that people were requesting and made them into, they're small stamps. I didn't want them to be great big because I wanted to be able to make layered elements with them. And cost, trying to keep the cost down. Alrighty, thank you all so much for being here. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to get off here, have some dinner with my husband, and rest a little bit. And we'll get back at it and make some more good stuff next week. So thank you, thank you, thank you all for being here. All right, I'm watching this. Again, if you have questions after this is over with, definitely come down below and leave it in the comment section. Thank you for being here today. Do check out the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group too, okay? Oh, someone is mowing. All right, well, I'm going to get off here. Thank you all so very much. Have a fabulous week. We'll be back next Monday. We'll do some more, probably another eclectic journal. I'm digging around and finding some fabric pieces that I can use, finding some old book pages. You're very welcome, Vienna. Thanks for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Paper Pedal says, vintage. I don't do vintage, Carrie. This is as vintage as I do. I have too much color. You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Your way crafting. Good night, Cheryl. All right, well, I'm going to get off here. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you all so much for being here. Y'all have an amazing rest of your week. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.